Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome. My name is Jennifer Long from Be So Inspired, and it is week 2 of the Organize Along with Be So Inspired. Yay! How is it going? How is your July going? Oh, it's getting nice and warm here. Gardens growing. Oh, yeah. Have you been outside a lot? Have you been taking vacations? Love to hear how everything is going. All right. So this week, week 2. So last week we detangled all of our threads. And some of you have been sharing already with the hashtag and tagging me at Be So Inspired. Thank you so much. Sharing in the Facebook group, so exciting. Thank you, thank you. So let's continue that, and we're going to pull it into one of our very favorite topics, which is fabric. So there's so many different ways to organize our fabrics and so many different kinds of fabrics. So I want to just reiterate that there's no right way or wrong way. We're just here to sort of inspire, break this process up into small, manageable steps, be here to be accountable to you, and then hopefully just grow and share together in our creative processes. So this week, again, is organizing our fabrics. I would like to know how you organize your fabrics. Do you organize it by your type of fabric? So cottons versus maybe like wools or velours, felts, Georgette. Do you have all them in different kinds? Do you organize them by color? Do you like to see your fabric, or do you like it hidden away? There's pros and cons to both. When you see it, maybe you're more likely to use it, but you have to make sure there's no direct sunlight on it or it will discolor. It can get dusty. You need space. So there's tons of reasons. And like we discovered last week, is organizing the way that makes you feel the most fulfilled and you the most productive. So if it stresses you out to see all of your fabric, then don't put it out so you can see it. Or if you can't find anything when it's rainbow organized, you like to have it in collections, then keep it in collections. And or put it in bins and collections. So this is just a way to sort of like dig deep into who we are and then how we work, each of us as individuals and as creatives, and see how we can make organizing fun and enjoyable. It is, especially when it stays. So, okay. So today we're going to talk a little bit how to organize your fabric. So I'm going to show you the way that I do it, but I would love to see the way that you do it again by tagging me and using the hashtag and in the Facebook group. So I like to have my fabrics in colors so that if I'm looking for a red, just like I talked about in my embroidery threads last week, I like to know the same thing with my fabric. So if I'm going for a scrappy Valentine's quilt and I want reds and pinks, and I don't want to have to search my eyes on all of my whole stash of fabric, I want to just look at my reds and pinks and know that I can just pull from those too. That's what works for me. Fabric is very, very personal. And it helps you kind of get an idea of what colors you really like, and maybe again what holes you have in colors. So then next time when you are out fabric shopping and you just feel that urge that you need to buy some new fabric, which is always, then you'll be like, well, it looks like my yellows truly are the lowest of all of my colors. So I think I will, next time I'm fabric shopping, is start looking for some yellows, right? So that's really, really fun. It's a good way to sort of balance out. Unless you never use yellows, then maybe you don't need more yellows, but I'm starting to really get into yellows. So, okay, so we're gonna do a little tutorial on how I wrap my fabric around these. So I will start by years and years ago, when my kids were still really little, so like a decade ago or more, I would wrap them around really thin sheets of cardboard. I would cut them. I actually had a rotary cutter that was no longer good. Wasn't very even safe to have for kids because it just stayed out and it was just not a great rotary cutter. So I just went to town and cut a whole bunch of cardboard out and wrapped my fabric around it. And it was beautiful. But what I found was it was actually taking up more space than I had. So I had all my fabric on shelves, like folded. But then when I put it around cardboard, because I was putting little pieces of fabric, you know, like a fat quarter or something around the fabric, then around the cardboard, excuse me, then it was actually taking up a little bit more space. And you compile that with all the fabrics. Although so then I was like, oh, this is not a good idea. So I'm giving you my learning with trial and error. What I did like about it, I should say, is that it's a little bit thicker. So especially when you don't have very much fabric, it is nice because you get like a bigger spine, almost like a book. So you can see a little bit more. So that is kind of a nice thing. And you can tell that when you go shopping for bolts of fabric or at like your quilt shops looking at different bolts of fabric. So quite often they have a thicker bolt, like so just like this would be, right? Like, so they would have a wide bolt like this, so that even when it gets down to the little, when it's on the shelf, you can still really get a good idea of the color or the fabric print. And sometimes it's like this on a bolt, so then you can't see it as clearly. So if you don't have a lot of space, but you have a lot of yardages for backing, for example, you could just cut yourself skinny pieces like this. Yeah, so it just depends on how you like. Now, if you don't want this displayed and you just want to fold it, that is just fine too. Just know that there'll be some creases that you probably need to iron out too. So it's really a personal preference. All right. So the reason why I like this and I'm going to show you this way is because I don't have to iron it as much. Kind of lazy like that. I want to just get to the project when I'm got the idea. I just want to like cut it and get it, start sewing, right? So that's just me. But so I've bought tons of these over the years, but they are comic book boards, and they're 6 3/4 by 10.5, and there's 100 boards in here. They're a 24-point board. They're coated on one side, and they're precision cut, so they're all exactly the same. I just bought mine at Amazon, so I'm not affiliated with Amazon in any way. I'm just sharing some information with you. But they fit nicely, just like a book would be on a bookshelf. These are IKEA bookshelves, so they're just standard bookshelves, and you can adjust the shelves. So I have my bigger bolts on the bottom as well. So let's do a little tutorial on how I wrap fabric for display. Are you ready to go? Okay, so like I said here, this is what I use, the comic book boards. You don't have to use this, but I'm just going to show you the difference in the thickness. So you can see over time, how much difference there will be when that is not a fabric, right? And so for the reasons we just pointed out. So I'm going to use, this is a collection here. It's a wonderful, beautiful collection. I actually made Stronger Together quilt with this one. Or no, I made a prairie garden quilt with this collection, and it's called Whimsical Romance by Kira Job. It's a beautiful collection, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it together or put it in the colors yet to organize it. But so I have just little bits left from my project. So you can see I've even cut out here. I think this was a full half a yard, and I've just cut out sections from here. So I'm going to start by putting this over here. And now you kind of have to play with it, because if I put it really close to the edge, I already practiced this, so I know, but I'm going to show you. And I roll it over. I'm going to make sure it's nice and tight and roll it over again. Then I get this little edge here, which isn't really the end of the world. But if I'm doing a ton of these and they're all the same, then it would be worth it for me just to figure this out. Also knowing that this is a piece of fabric that is folded in half. This is width of fabric. So also knowing that this is width of fabric, I know I want to have this over about a 3/4. And I just get it nice and flat. And honestly, this is really pleasurable, I should say, because I mean, we love fabric. You get to see your prints more. You get to like work with your fabric more. It's not a tedious job. It's an enjoyable job, in my opinion. And so I just fold it over and I hold it there, and I'm just giving it a little bit of a tug while I pull it. Good. And then again, I'm going to pull it over. So I really like where this has come. Now, you can pin this in a number of different ways, and I'm going to show you both. So I have my little pins here, and you can just put one pin in the center. You can put 2 pins here if you really want to, Or you can do like a bolt of fabric in a fabric shop and fold over an edge and do this here. What I was finding with so many little is that this adds an extra little bit of like a little bit of extra bulk here, and it just wasn't lining up all the way nicely on the edge like a book would. So I prefer just like this, but again, as we're learning, everything is very personal preference. So I'm not going through the cardboard at all, I'm just going through the fabric, and there's the first one. Good. So I have 2 done already, and let's just do one more together. Okay. Oh, this is a really tiny one. Well, here we go. Oh, this is so beautiful. Okay, so this is actually just a full quarter yard, and I'll take another one of these boards. It's comic book boards. So I think I have 2 in here. Oh no, there's just 1. Okay, so to remember, if I put it over here, then I pulled this over a nice half or 3/4 of the way, and I give it a nice kind of like stretch and pull. And as I'm doing that, I'm holding the top here. I'm just going to give the bottom of the board a little bit of a push. You don't have to be so precise, but I really like when it's nice and tight. And then I keep pushing it there, and I just give it a tiny bit of a wiggle as well. And then I pull this over, and you can kind of get into this nice rhythm. You can listen to a podcast. You can watch all the organize along videos while you're doing this. And you just make these beautiful little boards of fabric and that you can put on your shelf. Either behind closed doors or not. Or you could stack them up like this too, and it's just a great way to give them some stability and have the least amount of creases in them as possible. So I know not organizing in this way is not for everyone, nor is it space for everyone, or nor do you want to take the time necessarily. So see-through bins are great. Baskets are wonderful. Also, there's like often pre-cuts that you have that you want to display or that you need to sort of stack somewhere. So, being able to stack them. I have like lots of pre-cuts in here. I can walk you around and show you other pre-cuts that I have. I have some kits over here. I also have just some yardages here and my bolts of fabric. And then I have collections that are folded here as well. So I would love to hear in the comments how you organize your fabric. If you're going to tackle it this way or a different way, if you are team bin, shelves, closed cupboards, or visual, please do tag us at Be So Inspired using the hashtag #OrganizeAlong. And don't forget to sign up for the Be So Inspired newsletter so that you always stay in the know of all the things that are coming, of any tutorials that happen, of any giveaways or freebies and free information and events like this that we're doing that are just completely free and just to build community. So happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you're having a good July. Can't wait to hear from you, and please do tag me. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now, everyone.
Hello, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Jennifer Long from Be So Inspired, and it means so much to me that you are here. Thank you so much for commenting, for joining us every week, and for all the hashtags that you're using, Be So Inspired, all the pattern hashtags, and for always tagging at Be So Inspired. It does mean so much. I'd like to give you a little call to action. So if you're enjoying these and you want to try out a Be So Inspired pattern, all you need to do is come over to the Be So Inspired website, besoinspired.com, and sign up for our free weekly newsletter. And as a gift, I will send you a coupon for your first time in the shop so that you can have a coupon and try out our patterns. If you already know that you love Be So Inspired patterns, be it doll patterns, quilt patterns, do-it-yourself crafts, any of those, we'd invite you to come and join any of our memberships. So we have a dolls, quilts, do-it-yourself crafts, or all the things, and we'll inspire you, we'll teach you, we'll lift you up, and we'll have lots of fun with community and patterns together and lots of creativity. So I hope you can join us over there. Come on over to the site, and I can't wait to get to know you even more, and thank you for being here. Bye for now.